I was 13 the first time I heard my father say it. You're just like your mother, cold, selfish, and bound to leave. He'd had too much to drink, again. I stood frozen in the hallway, gripping the banister as if it could keep my world from collapsing. He wasn't always like that. I remember younger years when he laughed loud, when we played catch in the yard. But after Mom left, something inside him broke and I became the nearest mirror for his pain. By 17, I was gone too, not because I hated him, but because I couldn't survive in that house. I bounced between couch surfing, fast food jobs, and nights under bridges. My heart hardened, not just toward him but toward anyone who dared to love me. Because love, to me, meant eventual abandonment. I never believed I was worthy of love that stayed. At 23, I ended up in a recovery home after a drug overdose. It was a quiet place in the woods, run by a wiry old pastor named Paul. He had eyes that looked like they'd seen everything and still chose kindness. Every morning, he'd read scripture over us. I'd pretend not to listen, until one morning, he said something that lodged itself in my chest. We love because he first loved us. Minus 1 John 4:19. He looked straight at me when he said it. I wanted to scream. I didn't feel loved. I didn't feel lovable. I had track marks and regrets, a criminal record, and a list of burned bridges. Later that day, I found Paul in the garden. I don't know why, but I asked, "Why do you believe that verse is true?" He looked up and smiled. "Because I've been where you are, and because God never stopped chasing me. Love isn't something you have to earn, son. It's something he gave you before you were even born." That night, I couldn't sleep. I lay awake replaying my life like a movie reel. All the failures, all the faces I'd hurt, and still, that verse kept playing. We love because he first loved us. I whispered it. Then I prayed, for the first time in years. God, if you really love me first, before the mess, before I cleaned up, then maybe, just maybe, I can learn to love again. Things didn't change overnight. Healing came in layers, but I stayed. I listened to Paul's stories. I read the Gospel of John every morning. I wept through verses I never believed were meant for me. And slowly, miraculously, I started to believe them. I began calling my sister again. I wrote a letter to my dad, not to accuse, but to forgive. He didn't respond, but I didn't need him to not anymore, because I knew who I belonged to. I got baptized in that quiet little creek behind the house. Paul stood next to me, beaming. As I came out of the water, he whispered in my ear, "Welcome home, beloved. I've been clean now for 6 years." Today, I work at the same recovery home, leading new guys through the same steps. We have a wall in the main room where we each paint a verse that changed us. Mine is 1 John 4:19, in bold red. Because love didn't find me when I was fixed. Love found me when I was lost, and it loved me first. Share and comment this if you believe God still writes the best stories.